What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another Road to 5K video. I am on the road to try to hit 5,000 subscribers so I can increase the engagement here over on this channel. This is a variety channel, which means you can get something of anything, a little bit of everything over here. I talk TV, movies, politics, life, variety. That's what it's all about. So if you're into that type of channel, you're into that type of content, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel to help me get to 5,000. This video is about The Purge, the entire franchise. For the last couple weeks of Halloween or October, I purged or I binged all of the Purge movies. I did a summary on the very first one and I didn't do any more. But I'm going to go ahead and put them all together in this particular video. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's hope my TV in the background is not coming through. I got it on for the dog. It helped calm him down. But let's get into it. The Purge movies. There were 5 in the total franchise, in addition to the TV series. I did not watch the TV series. I didn't even realize there was a TV series until I decided to do this summary video. So what we have is The Purge. It came out in 2013. The Purge Anarchy came out in 2014. The Purge Election Year came out in 2016. The first Purge in 2018. And the Forever Purge in 2021. The TV series happened in 2018 and 2019. I may go back and watch it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what channel. Oh, it aired on the Sci-Fi channel. And like I said, it was 2 seasons. And it was set in New Orleans. That's all I remember from when I was about to research these here. So I'm going to rank, I don't know which one. I honestly think the second movie, The Purge Anarchy, and the first Purge were my 2 favorite of the entire franchise. Maybe because it included more people and not just one specific family. And also, I know the first Purge simply because there was the cast was predominantly black. Y'all know how I feel about watching black TV shows. So I think that's what I liked about that movie the most is the characters. Oh my God, they were so, in each movie, I think the characters were so well thought out, with the exception of, I didn't like the drug addict character, Skeletor. He played a very prominent role, but I think for somebody who had an addiction such as his, he was very lucid in his role, which I don't think, just based off of my experience of dealing with people who are on drugs, they're not that, what the, sounds like someone's biting me on the back of my leg. They're not that lucid as far as making choices and decisions. And his decision making was very poignant. He specifically knew exactly what he wanted to do. And I just didn't see it. That's probably the only thing that I didn't like much about the first Purge, the movie. Let's see. So jumping, the jump scares. I want to say I did more jump scares in the Forever Purge than all of the other ones. It was at some point that I was watching the Forever Purge that I was actually watching it like this, trying to prevent myself from jumping from the jump scares. But also, the Forever Purge is possibly one of the ones that I liked the least. And the reason that I liked it the least, because it seemed like it was a standalone movie. I understand it still had the same concept, where it was going, but it didn't connect with the other movies as far as different characters carrying over into the storyline. Now, a lot of these connections didn't make sense to me. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. But that was the one that didn't make sense as far as the connection to everybody else, with the exception of the Purge Election Year, the third movie. the senator who became president, Charlie Rome, her voice was in the Forever Purge. When it opened up, it was talking about how the NFFA got back into charge. That is her voice that's speaking it. There was no character that was in every movie with the exception of the broadcaster, the emergency broadcaster. Not only was she in every movie, her voice doing the broadcast announcements, she also was in the TV series, which she's the only person that survived all the movies. She's the only person that survived all of the movies because she was in the movies and in the TV show, child. So The Purge, 2013, the first movie that came out. This movie was set in the year of 2022. It was set on Staten Island, New York. And it is technically 6 years after the very first Purge, which was movie 4. There's a black guy in this movie named Dante, who I thought made it to the 4th movie, or I thought was in the 4th movie. He was not. He was only in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd movies. Dante got the heck around, child. Dante got around. So like I said, this movie was set in Staten Island, New York, which would have made sense for Dante to have been in the first Purge, which he wasn't. Why did I believe that man was in the first Purge? Okay, so it starts off basically focusing on a specific family, the Sandin families. Ethan Hawke was the father in that family. And this movie, the first movie, was basically a fuck around and find out moment for me. So Ethan Hawke was one of those families who agreed with the NFFA, which is the New Founding Fathers of America. To me, they are equivalent to MAGA. He agreed with everything that they was doing. He thought that the choices that he made as far as believing that poor people need to be eradicated, that homeless people need to be eradicated, marginalized communities, they deserve to be purged. He believed that shit, right? And it became a fuck around and find out moment when the other people in the community turned on him. They saw that he was getting buku bucks, making big dollars off of the purge by selling security systems to everybody. But he was showboating or flossing, so to speak, by getting the new additions added to his home, bragging to everybody about his promotion or his nomination at work. And the people got jealous. So at this particular stage, this is 6 years since the first purge began, it no longer just became about marginalized people and how to eradicate them from society. It also became more people wanting revenge against their fellow man. More people mad that you getting what they ain't got. They were all in a very well-to-do neighborhood. It's just that it is something in here. I was like, I'm getting bit by something. It's something that's flying around. Little gnat. Okay, we're going to get that. And so, so this is, everybody seemed to be well off. The purge is working, crime is down, this, that, and the third. Everything on this particular day, every year, you get a 12-hour day where you can just randomly commit crimes. And for the most part, the crime that people wanted to commit was murder and raping other people. Those are the main two things it looks like they wanted to do to people. Robbing banks, off limits. Oh, he gotta go. I gotta get him. He looked like a little thirsty. It's looking like a little baby gnat or baby mosquito or something. I'm getting tore up here in my own doggone room. Anyway, I'm gonna kill it. It's gonna go. I'm gonna kill it. So, like I said, they're on Staten Island in this well-to-do neighborhood. Somehow, the black guy Dante ends up in this neighborhood. Maybe he was captured. That's possible. He was captured and taken there, and he escaped. That's possibly what I'm thinking, because he had a group of purgers who was looking for him, and they tracked him down to the Sandins' house because he ran to their house. And the youngest son, I thought his name was Charlie. The youngest son, oh, that's something totally different. Let me get the Purge characters. I thought the youngest son name was Charlie. Yeah, his name was Charlie. The youngest son, Charlie, had a fucking heart. Okay, so he allowed Dante to come into his doggone house and find safety. But inside the house, there was a battle going on as well because the daughter's boyfriend got trapped into the house, and the daughter's boyfriend hated the daddy too. He hated the daddy because he was trying to keep them apart because he was an older guy that was dating this young ass teenage girl. Okay, something that's very common, it seems, in the Republican fashion of today. All these fucking perverts want to date these children. They already trying to push the damn laws back to age 14 to make them legal. In some states, it is already legal at age 14 to, fuck around with a child. Okay, but anywho, child. So it was a lot going on. It was a lot going on in that particular house. And the whole movie focused on that house. Now, Ethan Hawke's character, this is a spoiler if y'all haven't watched it. Ethan Hawke's character died, child. And I, for one, was not mad. I wasn't mad because at the point that he started to fight against the Purges and the point that he decided to let Dante go do his thing and set Dante free because he was going to send Dante out to the wolves and let him die. The point that he decided to do that is because his daughter saw him and said, "What the fuck have you become?" You know what I'm saying? You ain't shit as a man. It's pretty much the looks that she was giving him. I know you my daddy, but you ain't shit. This is wrong of you. Look what you making us do, right? So he decided, okay, I want to make sure that my daughter is proud of me, right? So he decided to let Dante go and to fight back against the other Purges. And in the process, he got killed. Okay, this is just like these fuck around and find out people of today, of MAGA today. They voted against humanity, voted against liberties, voted against rights and freedoms and shit like that because they didn't think it was going to fucking affect them. They thought they was going to have a bit of come up. Upcomings. That's what they thought they was going to have with this new order of government that was going on. And then the people started to turn on him. Okay. Then he started to feel the effects of what this all really meant. He had a fuck around and find out moment. So when he died, for me, he found the fuck out. Okay. So I was not mad that Ethan Hawke died. Wasn't mad at all. What I was happy about was to see that Dante lived to see another day. Okay. Now, this first movie was directed by, I didn't write it down. Okay. So fuck it. I'm going to move on. Now, the second movie, The Purge Anarchy, it came out in 2014. It was set 1 year after the first movie, but they moved it out to LA. Okay. Which was why I said Dante was getting the fuck around. They moved it out to LA and Dante was there. He had made it from Staten Island all the way to Los Angeles. Now, during the course of the time of the year that there's not any purging going on, I could see it happening. I could see him moving. I could see him wanting to get away from New York, and try to live a better life. But the purge is now going on out there too. 2014. We go on to this few families that we had, which is one of the storylines that I liked, that it was more people. There was a cop. The cop son had got killed in a DUI situation. So he wanted to purge in order to go out there and kill the man that killed his son. That's his whole reason for purging. And he wanted the baby to do it without consequence. And then there was a mom and a daughter. The mom was having problems at work. I didn't like the fact that there was a guy who was interested in her, who she seemed to be kind of put off by. I didn't like the fact that he didn't have a role the rest of the movie. I thought that he was going to come in handy. I thought he was going to either come in as somebody that was going to be purging against them, or somebody that was going to help her out in the situation, provide her some type of solace. That never happened. I don't even know why we built those characters. We were able to see her co-worker. They worked there like at a diner. She was too scared to ask her boss for a raise. Heck, she didn't know if she was going to be there next year anyway, because you don't know if you're going to survive the purge. Okay, that wasn't like the Staten Island where they had security systems to help lock all these people out. They were boarding up their own buildings, putting down their own hurricane gates and shit like that they don't normally don't have on the West Coast, but they had them there in this movie. They were doing that type of thing. So she had a daughter, right? And she had a father who was dying of cancer. Well, the father escaped in the middle of the night, and it comes to find out he was giving himself up to a group of people to purge. He was going to make himself a tribute or make himself a sacrifice for them because they promised him that if he allowed them to kill him for their first purge, they were going to give his daughter and his granddaughter $100,000 each. Okay, so he thinking that he's setting them up for life. He was dying anyway is what his mindset was. So why not do it? Well, the key, who would we really want no key, the revelation, which is you can't trust these motherfuckers from NAFA. You can't trust MAGA. That's what I'm saying. And what he did, it allowed them to become part of a game. So they knew the daddy was dead. And they were supposed to be offering them $100,000 so they could survive on. So in order for them not to get this $100,000 each, what's going to happen? They got to go. They had their fucking government, child. This is the first time we realized that the government was involved in all these killings. The government came in after these two women, and they were going to capture them in I can't even say a Hunger Games type situation. What's that movie where Ice-T was hanging out with these people and they had him in the woods? The Rock was there and they had him out in the woods. They were chasing him down to kill him. What that movie was? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Put it in the comment section if you know the name of the movie. But Ice-T was the one that was running because they had him out there hunting them down for sport. And some other movies that's like that. The Running Man is like that. They hunting for sport and shit like that too. So that's pretty much what they was going to do with these girls, these ladies, okay? Well, at the same time, if it's another couple, I wasn't sure if they was married or they were just dating, but they were broken up, okay? But they were trying to get out of the city while the purge happens. They was going out to his sister's house. Well, in the process, they had to stop for gas off somewhere. And you see the little YNs, that's what they call them these days, the little young niggas. They out there with their little machetes and mask on. They waiting for the purge to begin, okay? But what they are doing, they are disabling vehicles in the process. So when the purge begins, they know where to find their victim because they know the car broke down. They cut their brake lines, they cut their stern wheel, stern fluid. They broke down the car, you know what I'm saying? So they couldn't go any further and they could catch up to them. And their whole goal was to actually capture these people as well. Well, they thought that they were being hunted to be killed right then and there. They didn't realize that was part of this game. So all three of these groups, the cop, the couple, and the mom and daughter, their lives end up intersecting outside of the mom and daughter's home. The army had captured them, was about to take them in, and it was said that they needed to be brought in alive. And the cop was going by, even though he wanted to purge, like I said, his was very personal, very about revenge for this one specific person. He didn't want to kill nobody else. He wanted to get back that person. But in the process, he saw these women being terrorized, and his conscience couldn't let them, be harmed. So he got out there to try to help them escape their capture and ended up, rescuing them from the scene. Well, while he was doing his thing, the couple was still on the run, and they saw his vehicle that he had left down the road. They hopped in it. It was like armored up, y'all. He had customized his vehicle, and they thought that they could be safe in that vehicle. So when the cop ran back to the vehicle with the two women, they jumped in that bitch and saw him like, what the hell, right? He first was trying to make them leave and get the fuck out, but it became that they all became a group and they stuck together to try to survive through the night. He still had to get to his destination, which was to go kill the man who killed his son in the DUI, but at the same time try to keep all these people alive. Okay. They was trying to get to the other side of town to where her co-worker was at, so that they could, come to a place of safety, and then he can get a car to go do what he had to do. At least that's the lie that she told him, because that girl didn't have no damn car. But anyway, the whole movie is them trying to get to this doggone apartment complex and all the other people who are getting taken out in the process. They did get captured and everything, and they got rescued by who? Dante, the guy that was in the first movie that Ethan Hawke didn't kill, that ended up escaping and living throughout the movie. Like I said, Dante made it all the way from Staten Island to LA. He was part of the revolution. Michael K. Williams was the leader. I forgot what his name was. Anyway, they helped rescue them. Bada bada boom, bada bada bing. Okay. So, and again, this was 2023. Now, in the next movie, which is the Purge Election Year, this movie came out 2016. We have a 18-year time jump, child. It is now 2040. We are in Washington, D.C. Now, again, we started in Staten Island. We ended up in L.A. Now we're in Washington, D.C. And they kept talking about how, when I read the summary and it said that Charlie was running for election because they watched their family be killed back in the day. I thought this Charlie was going to be the Charlie in the first movie, the little boy. Because it's so many years later, he could have been running for office at this particular time. I thought this who the Charlie was. No, this was a totally different Charlie. This was a missed opportunity for me. This was a missed opportunity for them to bridge all these characters together in one way or another. Because Leo, he was the cop that was in the second movie. Now he's working as her security protection in D.C. She called upon him. I don't know how he got into the business, because he wasn't even an officer anymore in the second movie. And now it's 18 years later. Now he ain't aged one iota. It's 18 years later. He was already in his 50s or 40s, late 40s, in the second movie. He should be in his 50s, 60s by now. But he the same damn age 18 years later. And he's in D.C. and now he has to be her security detail. So NAFA, MAGA is still in operation, and it pisses me off that this is this many years that these motherfuckers have been able to rain terror down on the people. The first movie again started in 2022, 6 years after the first Purge. So it really started in 2018, something like that, 2017. And now it's 40 fucking years, 2040. That's what year it is now. These motherfuckers are still in control. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding? That many years? Ain't no fucking way we need to live this many years with MAGA. Ain't no fucking way, right? So she's running, the Charlie, who's in this one. She's not the Charlie, the little boy, which he should have been, running for office against the NFFA. It is an election year. Leo is her security detail. But this is the first year that they decide to remove all protections from elected officials, which means the senator can now get it too. All over the previous years, no elected official could be harmed. That was one of the exceptions to the purging rules. You couldn't go after political figures. This particular time they could, because they wanted to take her out. Now, why this movie was this is my least favorite. And it's basically the storyline. Because it reminded me so much of current day politics and how she just wanted to beat them at the vote. You know, she didn't want to fight fire with fire against these motherfuckers. We're going to beat you in elections. Like that was going to have some type of real good effect on the world. It did not. These motherfuckers done kidnapped you, done slit your throat, and you didn't want to do anything to penalize them. Okay, the same that they did with our fucking insurrectionist president. He leading the insurrection against the United States, and they just want to just give him a slap on the wrist. They want to call him out about it every chance they can, but they didn't want to do nothing when it was time to do it. That's why I didn't like this one. Everybody was going around risking their fucking lives to save her ass so she could be president. Fuck that, okay? People losing their goddamn livelihoods to protect her motherfucking ass. I was pissed off about that shit. And then she got rescued or got by the motherfucking Lucian and shit. And then her and Leo down there with they goody two shoes ass trying to destroy the fucking revolution. You can't do this. You can't attack them. Why the fuck we can't? It's legal right now. Okay? It's legal. We're still in purge season. We should be able to take out anybody that we want to take out. They already removed the exceptions. So why are you trying to thwart us? So it became her and Leo's business to try to make sure that they didn't kill any of these NAFA motherfuckers. What the fuck? During the time period of the time where it's all legal to do so. And they should have been done so anyway, because all the negative shit that they've done. They have targeted my motherfucking people since the first goddamn movie. And I don't have the opportunity to get some get back. And you say we better than this. Fuck all that. Fuck, I hated this movie. I had some good fucking action, some good fucking acting. I had some motherfucking jump scares, but the storyline is what pissed me off the most. Oh, the storyline pissed me off the most. And the revolution was being led by Dante. So Dante done left Staten Island, which was the first movie that came out, went to L.A., joined the revolution out in L.A., and now he back in D.C. about to retaliate on NAFA. He's saving Charlie motherfucking ass, and she preventing him from doing what he need to do. And Dante ended up fucking dying because of her ass. Oh, so I was pissed that Dante wasn't making it to the fifth fucking movie. The fourth movie is how it all started. So I knew he wasn't going to make it there, but I thought he was in the first fucking movie. Or in the first Purge. No, he wasn't. I'm so pissed. So I was angry about this fucking movie. I was angry about election year because it reminded me of the cowardice that we have in fucking office right now in the Democrats. We starting to see a lot more motherfuckers step the fuck up. And I'm so proud of that shit. Oh, I'm so proud of that shit. And the crazy thing is a lot of these people have been in office, but none of us knew because the big wigs was trying to keep them motherfucking silent. I'm glad they stepping the fuck out now. Okay, fight fire with motherfucking fire. Sometimes. Because we're going to get to the fifth movie and show you how much of a punk I was. Okay. So, but yeah, the third movie, The Election Year, was probably my least favorite if I had to rank it 1 out of 5, but it is still an awesome fucking movie. This whole franchise is fucking awesome, but it was my least favorite of the 5. Let's see. What is it? So the next movie, the first Purge, 2018. So when that movie came out, we are back on Staten Island. Staten Island is where this shit all began. Their whole purpose was to kill off marginalized people, Black people, Latino people. And at this particular time, they were paying the people to do so. 5,000 little measly dollars. That's how you get the support of poor people. You pay them off. You give them what they're lacking. Money. Okay? Because people think that money can fix everything. Okay, not realizing, motherfucker, you the people that they trying to kill. So you going out there trying to kill whoever you can kill for $5,000 a pop, not realizing they can kill you just because you got the glowing eyes to let everybody know that you was purging. Just because you got that shit don't mean that they nothing to kill your ass too. You and $5,000 to them. But that's how they was doing. So, but what happens in normal Black people fashion? Everybody partying, having a good time. Everybody singing, dancing to the music. On the radio, They was partying. Black people was out there partying, stepping, getting it. The Latino was out there partying, stepping, getting it. We having a good motherfucking time. Nobody was killing nobody. Now, they went after the junkies. They went after the homeless people. These are the ones who they just was dead set on. They was going to be able to kill, okay? They did psych evaluation to see who was most likely able to kill. And as with most statistics and shit out here, these surveys and stuff, they don't apply to Black people. They don't apply to Latino and brown people. They think that they know us, and we not what y'all think we are, okay? So, since people wasn't killing people like they wanted them to do, the government stepped in. Like I said, in the second movie, the Purge Anarchy, is when we realize how much involved that the government was. But this first movie, when they go back, it tells us they have always been involved. They will send out agitators like they do with the protests to try to start shit with the protests. How they have the ICE and the police walking up and pepper spraying protesters who ain't doing shit to them, dragging them to the ground and trying to hold check them and everything like that. They doing that shit, right? To try to get people to kill people. Now, we had the drug addict dude, the Skeletor, who actually was the first kill, okay? He basically just wanted the money. Like I said, he was too fucking lucid. He was a whack game. We had a dude like that named Tony back in the loop. Everybody kind of looked like Tony, but Tony was off. You didn't fuck with Tony, but Tony was a party. This dude was fucking nasty. He looked like HIV and hepatitis C walking. He was all the alphabets walking. Okay, and they called him Skeletor, and so he was going around he had needles. I don't even know what the fuck was in the needles, but they look like dirty needles. This look like you could just stabbing motherfucker with the dirty needles, injecting whatever the fuck he was injecting in them, and yeah, that was his whole thing, was to walk around and to take out motherfuckers. One of the main characters, he was trying to, be into the dope game and what have you, and got robbed by Skeletor. And so he wanted to pay Skeletor back. So he decided he was going to purge. He was weak, though. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't gangster. He wasn't thugging. You know what I'm saying? But the people who was the drug dealers. Baby, y'all remember Daniel on Insecure? His old chocolate itself. He was the main drug dealer in this movie. What was his name? I think it was Darius or something like that. Fuck, I don't remember what his name was. I still call him Daniel. Damn, Daniel. I still call him Daniel. Anywho, child. All the drug dealers, they was the ones who decided to protect the fucking neighborhood, which historically, a lot of that shit did happen. Motherfuckers was going to protect their block. You know what I'm saying? One, that's where they make their money at. But they was going to protect the people that they love on that block as well. And he seemed to have a lot of people in his crew that had military type training. So when they got ready to fight, baby, they was fighting their ass off. They was doing some dynamic martial arts type of shit. They was whooping the fuck ass, okay? Baby, talking about some action scenes for your ass was these fights in this movie here. That's probably why it's one of my favorites, because they was fighting their motherfucking ass off. Wasn't taking no prisoners. Hey, what? That's why I thought Dante was part of them. This one is set in Staten Island, where it all began, where Dante was at in the very first movie. So why Dante wasn't in this one, I don't know. I wanted Dante to be here. He should have been part of that crew that was whooping ass. What I don't get, and none of these movies, is why the black people were doing this. Other than now, I see that they was offering them 5,000 little measly fucking bucks. At least by the time we got to the second movie, they was offered 100,000, which was a lie though, because they were never gonna pay them their money. But just 5,000 little motherfucking bucks just to kill somebody, we didn't have it in us. Because we weren't that type of people. That's why people wouldn't kill nobody. That's why you had to get the fucking junkie to do it, right? That's why you had to get the homeless crazies to do it, right? And they really weren't killing nobody. They was just torturing people. They was just blowing up little dolls and popping firecrackers. The homeless women were. They weren't really killing nobody for real. Did they kill somebody? But yeah, I don't remember the two ladies actually killing. Did they have somebody strung up? I could be wrong about that. But it looked like they were just torturing people, you know what I'm saying? Having fun doing it with their little baby dolls and shit. So yeah, the army came in on this one too. But on this particular one, they had it locked down. It was Staten Island only. So when the first movie, the original Purge came out, it was the first nationwide purge. They had just started with Staten Island. Wow. They had just started with Staten Island. They was locking them all on that fucking island. They was allowing people to leave the island. Had them buses. I didn't trust the buses, child. I didn't trust the buses, like where they taking us. But yeah, you had to leave the island for 12 hours, and then you came back. Whoever was left lived. Okay, into the next year, and they did it all over again. But like I said, what got me about all of these movies, the Purge Anarchy, the Purge Election Year, the Forever Purge, is the amount of hatred that these people embodied. Like, where the fuck did it come from? Like, outside of the $5,000 offer in the first purge, what made you want to go out and kill somebody else? They didn't seem like they had a purpose. The only ones that had a purpose was these white people, the white purist, the white Christian nationalist people. Those are the only ones that had a purpose. They thought that they were the only pure motherfuckers in the world and everybody else had to go. But the black people, I didn't understand the level and the amount of rage that these people had and what was making them go out and do what they were doing. You rarely saw them target the white people at all, the ones who supposed to be, the oppressors and stuff like that. Even in the Purge election year, the Purge Anarchy, even though the little YNs sabotaged the white couple's car, they weren't doing it for themselves. They were doing it in conjunction with the government. They were working with the government. They were like the 8% of the motherfuckers who voted for Trump. That's who they were to me. Yeah. I didn't understand their rage. They all seemed drug fueled. Like they was on meth or some shit, just wilding the fuck out. And it made me wonder, which I didn't never get answered, because I wondered it in my own fucking mind. So when we saw Skeletor walking around with the drugs and shit that he was injecting to people to kill off people and things of that nature, was it some type of drug that they were being given in the later years that had them so amped up, so vicious, so fucking sadistic? It was unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. So let's go on to the Forever Purge. Just like I say, it's now 2048, y'all. 8 years after the election year. The election in which Charlie Ron won and beat out the NAFTA people. But it's 8 years later and shit has gotten worse. Which is trying to say, oh, well, maybe the NAFTA people were right, okay? And because shit has gotten worse, they voted the NAFTA motherfuckers back in office, Trump. Although in our reality, shit wasn't getting worse. Things were on the rise with Biden in office. Things were on the rise with Obama in office. Things weren't getting worse. They were worse with Trump. But they voted NAFTA back into office. And NAFTA decided to start the purge over again. So during Charlie Ron's presidency, her 2 terms, as stuff went on the decline, nobody purged those 8 years. And now they're doing it over again. They're starting the purge over again. So it's clear that she didn't prosecute any of those NAFTA people. They didn't eradicate any of those NAFTA people, which is part of what I have an issue with today. They didn't eradicate them. They allowed them to get back in charge. This movie, the 5th and final movie, was seemed to be disconnected from the other movies because, again, other than the voiceover from Charlie, there was no other connection to any other movie. It was set down in Texas. It was mainly focused on immigration, which all of these movies is today's current political society, every last bit of it. So another group emerged out of NAFTA, Heritage Foundation, okay? The neo-Nazi people or what have you. ICE, baby, you know what I'm saying? They emerged out of NAFTA, and they decided after the purge ended that it wasn't ever going to end. So they created the after purge, and they continued on killing folks and trying to alleviate or eradicate or remove any person who wasn't a pure white nationalist child. Every immigrant. The crazy thing was they were still having immigrants coming into the United States. People were still sneaking in through the borders and shit like that. For even though the economy was back on the decline, it was still better than wherever the fuck they was. But in this particular movie, they were just so, I couldn't Like I said, I had to watch like this. It was I had a lot of more jump scares. I was having fucking paranoia. Made me realize how much of a punk I really am. You know, I talk a lot of shit, but evidently I was a punk. You know what? I'm not no punk. I'm not no punk. I was paranoid, rightfully so. You know, cause like they had some shit going on where they was popping off in a fucking movie, and then some fucking rapid fire started happening outside my damn window. This is a quiet ass neighborhood over here. I was like, is that guns or is that fireworks? I didn't know which one it was, but I thought it was guns. And I was like, is the fucking purge happening? You know, I was nervous. I watched it on Halloween night. Why was the firework going off on Halloween night? I was nervous. I was like, hold on. I was trying to prepare my shit. I'm on the chat talking like, hey, I don't know what the fuck going on outside, but something's happening. I'm a little bit annoyed, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to figure out how am I going to prepare myself. I'm trying to look around my house for like where the weapons located and shit in case something happened. I went and locked the doors, child. I went around the house and locked all the doors. The purge, the forever purge, gave me paranoia. And the only reason why I say it's not one of the top movies for me is because of the disconnect from the other characters. But it had some of the most realistic shit that made me say, bitch, you ain't ready. You ain't ready for this type of behavior. These motherfuckers are sadistic savages who thinks of shit like this. That's what I was saying. It was only 2 black people in this whole movie. It's set down in Texas. They even, like I said, they left California, they left upstate New York, they left DC. They're in Texas now. I think I saw 2 black people in the whole movie. One was captured, getting fucked up, and the other was fighting his ass off, child. Now, one of the main characters' name was Alina, I think it was. Did I write her name down? Adela. Her husband, Juan was a gangster. Juan was a motherfucking G. Adela was part of a group that had been fighting against the cartels in Mexico. They had escaped to the United States for safety and shit like that. So she was gangster as a motherfucker. But there was a point in the movie that her and her boss, which was a black guy, was out there fighting they motherfucking asses off in these streets, honey. And they got to a point where they survived. And he separated from them. He's like, he needed to go find his family. We never saw him again the rest of the movie. And he was only really a part of the movie doing that scene. Like, we saw him earlier, but not really, you know what I'm saying? Didn't really have a lot of lines. This was the major scene that we saw with her boss. The rest of the movie was basically like Juan. He was working on this range and the family that he was working with, trying to get them to safety. Her and who else was she with? Oh, the wife of that family. They had got separated. She was pregnant and shit. And they was trying to get back across the border. So Canada and Mexico was offering United States citizens sanctuary, right? And then there was at some point where the new faction had targeted NAFTA as well. And I said that before. I told y'all when we talked about the doggone Project 2025, how I thought that the project, the Heritage Foundation was different than MAGA and they was going to take each other out. Well, in this movie, that's what they was doing. The new little faction of people was going after NAFTA as well. And they not only they was targeting military bases. They was targeting the border. They got so bad that the Mexico had to shut the fucking border down. They was like, we can't help y'all motherfuckers no more. If you ain't here by now, you ain't here. But the good thing is that Adele and Juan had already came to America through the damn tunnels and shit like that. So they knew how to get the fuck back out. The Native Americans down there on the damn border had joined in. Lives was being lost left to right. And I just kept thinking, y'all some savage bitches. Y'all some savage motherfuckers, boy. All because y'all think y'all the fucking purists and y'all the only ones that should exist in this world. It's amazing to me how they, think that they of God and, God created us all. Shit, the black people was created first, if according to genetics and shit like that. But evidently y'all think God made mistakes and that y'all should be the only race to exist. I don't know where that shows in y'all doctrine, but it ain't in mine. I ain't even got no fucking doctrine. I don't read the Bible. But anywho, child, there was supposed to be a 6th. I'm just going to talk about those movies right there. There was supposed to be a 6th movie that was supposed to be released. I'm not sure if they're still working on it. They announced it 4 years ago in 2021. The movie's going to be set in 2059. Leo, the cop who was in the second movie and the third movie, he is going to return. And it's supposed to be a worldwide purge. The Blumhouse is who produces this movie. They thought this would be a fun and exciting way is to flip the script and make it fun for the last movie is to have a worldwide fucking purge. So, like I say, I don't know what happened with the movie idea, but when they came out with the TV series season 3, that's what was supposed to happen in season 3, but the show had got canceled after the second season. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. I say I just didn't understand the level of rage and hatred that was being displayed by some of these characters, like in the second movie with the Purge Anarchy, the 2 teenage black girls who came up into the store. They already seemed to be amped up on something. I don't know if they was meth, fentanyl, or whatever the fuck. They was amped up on something. They already had this deep-seated hatred and attitude about themselves that, you know, they was going, like, they just gave the fucking loony bin type shit. And then by the time we got to the 5th movie, just straight savagery. That was just gore. Oh my gosh. I had to watch something funny after it was over because let me tell you, this show was giving me bad dreams. Not necessarily nightmares, but I was having bad dreams every fucking night that I watched this show. And in every fucking dream, it was a purge happening. I survived. I made it to the 5th dream. Watch out. That's it, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about Lovecraft Country. I did binge that as well during the last 2 weeks of October. So I'll talk about that TV series in tomorrow's video. Or will I? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Travel and Talk. I may not talk about it until Wednesday, child. Tomorrow might be Travel and Talk. All right. I'll see y'all later. Peace.